Um, Thank you for coming to this interview. Would you mind telling me something about yourself?
Okay, so may I start now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So as you can see on my CV, you may call me Brian, and actually I would not prefer to call myself an ordinary person. Instead, I might describe myself as a more of a committed, motivating team leader, and also someone who is always willing to take on challenges and a very fast learner. Well, this has something to do with my diverse background, first of all, because first of all, I come from a very diverse background, not only because of my family, but also my personal experiences. This has forced me to learn new things constantly throughout my life, so that I was more and more capable, and of course, like more and more willing to face new challenges within my life, and of course within work or my study. So this has made me a very very motivated person, very proactive person, you can see. And but then like when facing all these challenges, I prefer not only to take on the challenge myself, but also like if someone else is with me, like I have a team, let's say for example, I'm always willing to work with a team, not only as a team member, but even as a team leader, to motivate the team, to bring everyone together, to join in to face the challenge and overcome the obstacles. So one of the most significant example is that I was actually within the organizing committee for the Guinness World Record breaking event of HQST. So the team has like more than 40 person, and the people within the team actually come from very diverse background: local, non-local students, PG, UG, university staff, and even professor. And I am the vice chairperson of that whole committee, overseeing 3 of the 5 teams, which is actually responsible of actually asking 2,400 people to join the event. So this is to me this is a very significant example of me being a very capable leader and also a very good planner.
Right. Okay. Why are you interested in United Nations and want to become an intern with us? Focusing on economic affairs.
So actually, after first of all, because of my diverse background, and also because of my personal experience of working with various people, I always endorse the idea of people all over the world joining hands together to solve global issues, to solve regional issues, to actually reach regional mutual prosperity, let's say. And United Nations is itself being the sole largest international organization, which 99% of the nations are inside, is in fact a very interesting organization to me, such that I can face more new challenges, and also like which I've never seen or never heard before, which I can only encounter within the organization, working in these like international affairs, this kind of stuff. So and also more importantly, since I'm an Asian, let's say I'm an Asian with my family's like from all over Asia, so I'm very supportive in the regional development of the Asian Pacific region. So that's why I would like to join the ESCAP, or the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific.
Okay. Now, so I would expect you to know quite a bit about the economy in the Asia Pacific region, right?
Yep.
Can I assume that?
Yes.
All right. Could you compare Indonesian with Singapore's economy? I mean, the 2 countries. How would you compare one against the other?
Well, in the most common viewpoint, usually people will see Indonesia as a more of a developing nation, while Singapore is a developed nation. But then, in fact, the stories goes on a lot further deep inside. Say for example, Indonesia has a very rich resource in terms of tin, so it can actually gain a lot of resource and a lot of money, let's say investments through these natural resources. But then Singapore doesn't have all of these. Instead, Singapore relies on its kind of very stable social structure, very well structured law, and also it's a very well developed university system, which provide countries nearby, let's say Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, or even Thailand, their professional work. Let's say for example, more of the financial sector or more of the research and development sector. Whereas for Indonesia, although it can get a lot of investment, it might have to work more on these. So maybe perhaps the two countries can work together and to join hands to, so that each other can share each other's benefits.
Okay, all right. What would you anticipate to be the biggest challenge when you joined us as an intern on economic affairs in the Asia Pacific region?
Well, to be honest, in my opinion, the largest, the single greatest challenge might actually be working with people around from all over Asia. It's not because for me, of course for me myself, I'm very comfortable with working with all those people. But then since the organization itself is dealing with the relationship between two nations, and between nations there might be political disputes, there might be territorial disputes or economic disputes, all of these, or even historical disputes. All these disputes will in fact affect their citizens' view amongst their citizens' view, which is about each other. Let's say for example Japan and China, or Japan and Korea, or even Chinese and Korean. So I think one of my greatest challenge if I am in a team is to unite everyone together, to let people believe that we can actually achieve things if we put down all of these kind of prejudice and also our own pride.
Is it easy to achieve?
I wouldn't say it's easy, but then it is something that I want to achieve, and I will work my best to achieve it.
All right. Do you have any question for me?
Well, I would like to ask. Actually, my original question is I would like to ask if, since you are a senior within the organization, I would like to ask what is the most difficult situation, or what is the most difficult problem that you'll have to tackle when working within the organization?
I think it's the cultural differences among different people, colleagues, as well as members of the United Nations. Sometimes when you explain policies, suggestions, recommendations to them, they might not be fully on board. All right, that takes a bit of time. And sometimes it cannot be done by us. It has to be done through negotiation between countries. So I think that is interesting rather than difficult. I would say interesting to see how things could be achieved through different means.
It's also what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a challenge, but then we'll have to deal with it.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Thanks.
thank you for coming.
Thanks a lot.